All right, DTO family, welcome back. Today we're going to do a little video about first aid. And I think first aid is very important for the pro trainers and also for the hobby guys who travel across the country, across state, do long drives. And people always ask, why you're traveling with a backpack full of this stuff, right? And the answer is simple. If you travel enough, you're going to run into problems. And these problems might be heat stroke, might be broken leg, might be dehydration, might be whatever it may be, broken nail, anything that can happen, right? And now you're standing across the country or across the world, and it always happens on a Saturday afternoon when everything is closed. It never happens on the Monday morning when the veterinarian is open, right? It always happens. No veterinarian within 300 miles, and here we are. So the importance, and I put this first aid kit together with my veterinarian because I competed worldwide for a long time. So this travels in one backpack, and this backpack is going wherever the dogs are going, wherever I'm at, this backpack is there. So the goal is not to become a veterinarian. The goal is to keep the dog alive so we can get him to a veterinarian. There might be a day from today, might be half a day, might be an hour, but most of the things that are here on the table will bring that dog in safety and alive to the first aid kit in 3 to 4 different segments, right? And the first segment we're going to start with is general stuff that should be in your first aid kit. And we're going to go over it. It starts with me, you must have a muzzle that fits your dogs, right? If you have big dogs, small dogs, whatever, I have a muzzle that fits big dogs. I have one that fits smaller dogs, depending what we are training with, So the muzzle, if a dog gets injured, there is nobody laying on the ground and be happy that you're going to start doctoring onto the dog, right? So for the dog safety, and now we come on part 2, and I'm going to move these out of the way. Right? Part 2 is wound care. We all been in places. I was at the Nationals about, 20 years ago. And the night before, after a party at 2, 3 in the morning, I let my dog out, and he runs to go pee at the hotel and runs into a bunch of broken glass. Right? And you're like, man, timing is bad, right? I should have not let him out, blah, 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 blah. But if you have your first aid kit with you, we can disinfect, right? And then we can glue together and hopefully give him some pain medication, and hopefully tomorrow he can produce, right? So this is wound care. What consists of wound? Liquid bandage, if you have something you want to glue. But I also use, more than liquid bandage, I use super glue. I'm a fan of super glue, but here is the kicker. Once you open it, it's time to throw it away, because next time you need it, it will be dry, right? So I buy the little tiny ones. I use one, toss it away, and then I always have plenty with me for the next occasion. So you never want to run out on that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what's in my roll-up bag, from all my surgical scissors to the little bulb, to the gauze, to my thermometer, right? The needles have their own spots on the sides. This will all roll up, and that's my travel kit, to when I go on an airplane. With this kit, I can basically do almost everything except. Part number 3 is that we have a dog that gets poisoned. And does it happen often? No. But again, if you do enough numbers, I had a couple dogs being poisoned. The instructions are on that bottle. If the dog is poisoned or whatever, you have to give him Toxiban in combination with vitamin K, after you make him throw up with your hydrogen peroxide. And then we have high calorie, and so that brings the blood sugar back up, right? And it's like with people, if people with diabetes go down, they feel like crap. It's the same with the dog, so if you're going to work a dog hard. The next step here in our process is dehydration. And dehydration comes most likely from overheating. It's hot, the dog has so much drive, and they don't really think about anything else than working, right? And there is not enough water coming into the system, right? And they get dehydrated. Now, dehydration on it, but, this saved the dog's life, right? body temperature goes down, and then immediately, and this is, you know, not only for hangovers, but also to bring a dog back into body temperature and bring the water inside the dog. Now again, if you have a dog like this who overheated, you know, you want to bring his sugar levels, keep him stable, so give him the corn syrup and, you know, the immediate response electrolytes, right? The electrolytes are also, of course, in the IV bag. It's just
in your travels, which is extraordinary to talk to you about, but how do you keep their GI tract really? Because I know a lot of people travel with dogs, they show up, and the first thing that you see is the dog is squirting poop. You see what I'm saying? They're obviously GI tract's upset. Is there any tricks traveling-wise that you do to
well, I think for sure it's hydration, right? If the dog doesn't hydrate enough, so for sure arriving anywhere half a bag for inflammation.
Oh,
that's what. Yeah. So that's the. I went blank there for a second, but the Metacam, I have used that since I worked for the Secret Service in Belgium as a canine instructor, and so every canine handler in Belgium has that with them, right? And it works like a champ. Now there's